Today we are going to look at solving problems, word problems with averages using a very easy, simple, and almost mistake-proof way um, by using something called the average number line. Now, the kids' problems that I've seen in some of the math competitions or even in elementary school and middle school exams could get a little messy with a lot of numbers, a lot of calculations, and often kids make the mistakes of in those calculations. In the method that I'm going to show you with average number line, there is very less calculation, and whatever calculations we do are very simple, and there is very less chance of kids making the mistakes there. It'll be simple additions of simple numbers, mostly one digit additions or subtractions, or one or two digits additions and subtractions. I'm going to solve these two problems with the average number line, and by the end of this video you should be feeling very comfortable in using this method to solve your word problems using averages. Take a moment to like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, click the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. When you do that, you will get to know the moment we make a new video for you. Let us know if this video was helpful in your comments below. Let's look at the first problem. Sharon wants to get an A in math. On her last test, she had an 87 and her previous scores were 92, 98, 83, 81 and 94. What score will she need to make on her next test to average a 90 in English? So with the average number line way of solving the problem, what we do is we just assume a line which I'm saying is the 90 mark value. And we start plotting each of her tests on this number line value. So we know she had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 tests. So the 7th test is the one that she is yet to take, so that all the numbers, all the scores she had after the 7th test will average out to 90. So once we have the average number line, which is 90 here, let's plot the individual scores based on the difference between the score and the average. Let's look at the first number, 87. 87 is 3 less than 90. So what we do in this method is to write a minus 3 here. Let's look at the next score, which is 92. 92 is 2 more than the average. The next score is 98, which is 8 more than the average. The next score is 83, which is 7 less than the average. The next score is 81, which is 9 less than the average. And the sixth score is 94, which is 4 more than the average. Right? So what we did here is we took the average number line at 90 and we marked each of the scores not based on what the score was, but what the difference is between the score and the average. So for the first one, 87, it's 3 less than the average. The next one, 92, 2 more than the average. 98, 8 more than the average. 83, 7 less than the average. 81, 9 less than the average. And 94, 4 more than the average. And we know that there is still one test left that she has to score. Now once she scores that test, all the averages that we have marked here should add up to 0. Only then will her average score over all the tests that she has taken will be equal to 90. So from the number line, let's find out how many of the scores are above 90, how many scores are below 90, and what is the difference from 90. So let's add up the top row first. Plus 2, plus 8, plus 4. which is plus 14. Let's look at the bottom row. Minus 3, minus 7, minus 9. They add up to minus 19. Now, if we simplify this on the number line, on the average number line, we get a score of minus 5, which means that in the last test that she has to take, she must make up for this minus 5 to be able to do a 90 on the average. Now, to make this number 0, we got to do a plus 5 here. And the answer is very simple now. We got to add up the average and the final number that's coming here. So it'll be 90 plus 5, which is 95. So Sharon has to score at least 95 to be able to keep her grade over 90 in English. Now this is a very simple calculation. Let's look at the traditional way of doing this problem, right? So traditional way would be that we add up all the numbers, which is 87 plus 92 plus 98 plus 83 plus 81 plus 94. And if we add all them up together, let's look at what we get. 36, Now, since there are 7 tests and the average is 90, so she has to score 630 to be able to keep her A grade. Now, if this is the total score, she already has 535. She has to score at least 630 minus 535, which is equal to 95 in her last score, in her last exam. So in this method, which is the traditional method, the right method, one of the right methods, you see how much of addition we have to do, how much of calculations we have to do. And this is where kids make a lot of mistakes. But using the number line, you're still doing some calculations, but the numbers are very small in number. And hence your calculations become easier, and there's very less possibility of you making a mistake. So in both the results, we got 95. So we know 95 is the right number. Now here is another problem. Let's look at the second problem. The average of 5 numbers is 6. 2 of the numbers are 8 and 7. The other 3 numbers are equal. What is the value of one of the 3 numbers? So let's do it the traditional way first. So we have average. The clues are average of 5 numbers is 6. Total number of numbers that we have been given is 5. So when we multiply this, we get 6 into 5, which is 30. The first 2 numbers are 8 and 7. So the sum of the first 2 numbers is equal to 8 plus 7, which is 15. So we know the last 3 numbers will add up to 30 minus 15, which is 15. And since these three numbers are equal, each of the numbers would be 15 divided by 3, which is equal to 5. So the number would be 5. This is the traditional way of doing the math. Now let's look at doing the same thing with average number line. So we know the average number is 6. And we have two numbers, which is 8. First number is 8, which is 2 more than 6. The next number is 7, which is 1 more than 6. So we know the last three digits, which will be here, should be such that the total that we get here, which is above average, has to be equal to 0. So if I simplify the number line, we have got 6 as the average, and we have got plus 3. So we must have minus 3 in the next three numbers. The way to divide that number across three numbers, since they're all equal, is minus 1, and minus 1. Now if we do that, the average would be 0. The sum would be 0 across the top and bottom of the average, and hence the average will come out to be 6. So from the average, we got to do this calculation to find out what the number would be. So this is the solution that you get. This is the answer that you get by using the average number line. Which is the same answer that we got in the traditional calculation. So you see how easy this becomes. Even though there are calculations, they are very less, and the calculations are also very simple. It will be simple additions or simple subtractions once you follow this method. Now I have taught this method to my kid. She is in the 3rd grade, and she is finding it very helpful. She would make a lot of mistakes with a lot of these long additions like this, but now with the number line, she has to do very few additions, like here, or even if you go on to the other one, the long calculations are avoided by using the small numbers here. Well, I hope you find this useful, and I'll be putting out a couple of more videos using the same idea of average number line that would help you solve a little more complex problems. Thank you. Take a moment to like this video, share it with your friends, and most importantly, click the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. When you do that, you will get to know the moment we make a new video for you. Let us know if this video was helpful in your comments below.